Hi, good morning guys. This week's video was actually recorded last week from the southern Andes Mountains of Peru in the village of Cachorvo. We have a missions team here trying to just share the gospel with people who need it. And I want to share a verse with you. I've been reading through the book of Exodus, and God of course had called Moses to go back to Egypt to talk to Pharaoh, to tell Pharaoh, let my people go and let them go and serve God. But Moses was very unsure about what God had called him to do. And Moses had made excuse after excuse. Here's one of them in Exodus chapter number 4, verse number 1. But Moses answered and said, "But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, the Lord hath not appeared unto thee." Moses had excuse after excuse as to why he wasn't doing what he knew God had called him to do. If you're a believer, God has called you to do certain things in this life. He's called you to draw closer to Him. We do that in our assembling together with other believers. We do that by spending time in His Word. We do it by our prayer with Him on a consistent basis. He's called us to be faithful to Him in our life, in our lifestyle, in holiness. We know the things that we ought do, ought not do. We read it in His Word. We have excuse after excuse why we don't do it. We're called to share the gospel with other people, whether it be at work, at school, just in regular, everyday conversation. We're called to do it even outside of ourselves. We're called to go, to make a special effort to go and make sure that people know the good news about our Lord. Yet it seems like we're waiting for God to do some amazing thing before we go and obey what God has told us to do. The point here is that God, we've heard it said, God doesn't call the equipped, God equips the called. And you and I don't need to wait on something awesome to happen before we obey what God's called us to do. God has made the call. There are certain things we know to do. Now, I don't know specifically if there are certain things that God has called you to do that are extraordinary. I'm sure that there are. But I just want to encourage you today to stop making excuses to do it. We have a mission team here this week that is very unsure, feels very unequipped. We are unequipped to share the gospel with the people whose culture is different than ours, who see things. We just had a conversation this morning about feeding some people and inviting some people in, and one of the members said, well, let's get some cola and some different kinds of beverages, and they're like, these people want hot drinks. It's just different. The society's different. We're unequipped to do it. But once you obey, God will work out all the different things. God said, look, what's in your hand? He said, throw down that rod that's in your hand, and I'll do something amazing with it. He said, I'll do something amazing with what you have. You just are obedient to me, and I'll work out the details. So I just want to encourage you today to be obedient to God in that which He has for you to do, and let God work out the details. Have a blessed day. We love you. God bless.